It was only like 2 weeks before I was introduced to heroin and crack cocaine. I started using recreationally, and obviously, like, you can't do that with heroin before you become addicted to it.
Demi Lovato opens up about the first time she ever used heroin.
My cocktail before I got sober was Coke and Xanax together. It was an upper and a downer, and I loved the combination. Once I relapsed, the floodgates were open. Within a couple of weeks, I called a drug dealer and I was like, do you have Coke and Xanax? And he said, no, but I have crack and heroin. And I was like, I've always wanted to try it.
Episode 1 and 2 of the I Love Me Singer's 4-part docu-series Dancing with the Devil dropped Tuesday on YouTube, and the 28-year-old's getting candid about her 2018 relapse and subsequent overdose.
Demi Lovato is no holds barred in this. Was there anything off limits for you guys?
She was even surprised at just how much she ended up wanting to share, which is all about the safe space and the ability, to ultimately get her story out there.
Cameras followed Demi as she celebrated 6 years of sobriety.
This is a special day. 6 years sober. Happy birthday.
1 month after that, Demi relapsed with drugs and alcohol, and within 3 months, she was fighting for her life.
I picked up a bottle of red wine that night, and it wasn't even 30 minutes before I called someone that I knew had drugs on them. I ended up at a party. I just so happened to run into my old drug dealer from 6 years before, and I just went to town. That night I did drugs that I'd never done before. I'd never done meth before. I tried meth. I mixed it with Molly, with Coke, weed, alcohol, Oxycontin, and like that alone should have killed me.
Demi says 2 weeks after that, she tried heroin and crack cocaine for the first time. And during a trip to Bali a few weeks later, the former Disney star said she realized she had become physically dependent on it. It was on that trip that she wrote her emotional track, Sober.
I'm so sorry, I'm not sober anymore. And Daddy, please forgive me for the drinks spilled on the floor.
I went away, I went on tour to Europe. I stayed clean, kind of, like wasn't doing drugs, but was drinking a lot.
ET spoke to the documentary's director, Michael D. Ratner, and he opened up about why it was so important to Demi to lay it all out on the table.
I think she feels liberated. I think she feels like she doesn't have to walk around with a facade or wondering, are people going to pick up on this? Or, I've said I'm the poster child for that, but people evolve, people grow. And, there's going to be no aha gotcha moment after this. She says, I am a work in progress. I've put systems in place because I am a flawed person. Here's where I am today, and I'm here to tell you my journey.
When I came back to LA after tour, I picked up where I had left off, and I was very heavily using.
Demi overdosed and was rushed to the hospital on July 24th, 2018.
Metro Rescue 827, persons leaving, does not want LAFD assistance and/or help.
I am not saying that I have not used needles, but that night I wasn't injecting it, I was smoking it, which is another reason why I was so shocked when I woke up in the hospital, because I was like, no, I'm not injecting it. I can't overdose on it. At the end of the day, if you do too much of anything, it's gonna kill you.
Her objective was to clear the air, to tell her story, to speak her truth. You could jump on live and say whatever you're feeling that day, but that's impulsive and in the moment. Whereas this is, you're gonna get to know Demi Lovato through and through in this piece.